Hello and welcome to the Tower of God video. Today we're going to be talking about Xia, the adult form. Okay, like, I don't know about this character, bro. I really don't, okay? Because on one hand, I'm like really excited that we got a new support red unit. And we love support units. Support units are normally really like meta defiant. But at the same time, it's Xia, bro. Like, and it's a non-canon version of a character that we already have with the same element and the same role. Like, I mean, there's so many characters they could pick to be a support role, and they chose Xia. I mean, I guess it makes sense in the theme of like alternative version of characters, because this is the time when they're releasing like SSR like Zahar, which is basically an alternative version of Zahar, like an adventure Zahar. So I mean, I guess, but like Xia, really, like really. Anyways, let's watch the video while I talk about the character and the lore. But essentially, this is Xia. If you don't know who Xia is in Tower of God, she is the light bearer of the Fug team the bomb climbs with during the workshop battle. And I don't really like it that much, really, because like she's the whole reason why bomb gets separated with like Wang Nan and all them. So like, I don't like her. I mean, if you see in season 2, you know who she is, but I really don't like her, and she's the reason why everything goes wrong. But yeah, like she's not really relevant afterwards either, and the whole thing is money. But you know, at least now she's a spy for the family, so I guess I guess basically this is the character. This is the I guess character, right? In terms of like the character itself, not the kit, right? Obviously, but enough stalling. Let's talk about her kit. So let's talk with the passive first. At the start of battle, Xia deploys a data field from the ends of the allies' battlefield every n seconds, reducing the defense of the enemy range by a couple seconds. Defense, like reducing the defense, right? Additionally, she gains N backup lighthouse when deployed the data field. When her HP falls below N percentage, consume N backup lighthouse to become invincible for N seconds and recovers N percentage of her max HP. Basically, she has a field. For mine, also this passive is phrased really weird, but I'm assuming when the game starts, she puts a field everywhere, a data field on the field, right? While it's deployed, she'll also pull out these lighthouses, maybe 1 or 2 or 3. I don't think it's going to be that much, right? And those fields, every couple of seconds, those lighthouses reduce the defense of the enemies within the range of the lighthouses, right? So constantly, every couple seconds, it'll reduce the defense. However, if she's almost about to die, or once her HP drops to a certain percentage, those defense lighthouses will come back to her, and they'll be used up to heal her and make sure that she doesn't die. However, once those lighthouses like get used up, I'm assuming that part of that defensive part of the field, I'm assuming it disappears. So that area that would reduce the defense of the enemy no longer reduces defense. It's just a regular part of the field, which is kind of interesting. I wouldn't say strong, interesting. I'm assuming they're gonna do a lot with those, with exclusive weapons and revolution, but really interesting in my opinion. I don't really know what to think about it yet. We'll have to see the numbers, obviously, and also it depends on what the percentage is for the HP threshold, right? Because you don't want it to you want it to be higher than the barrier percentage, right? So it doesn't overlap, right? And also, like I said, even if you don't use the barrier set, it also really depends on how low it is, right? If it's really high, if it's like a 50-60% when she consumes a lighthouse, obviously the passive is terrible. But if it's like a really low percentage, like a 5% or like a 10% or something, that means that the reducing defense part of the passive skill will last longer, right? And that area won't be used up as quickly. So it really just depends on how quickly they reduce the defense every second, and it also depends on the number of lighthouses, but more importantly, it depends on how low the HP threshold is, and especially also how much lighthouse it is, right? But also, she heals herself, whatever, once she gets into a certain threshold. Now let's look at her ultimate. CXCA becomes immune to status effects and activates Quantum Lighthouse to restore all allies' HP by N% of the max HP, granting Quantum State for N seconds. While Quantum State, she increases attack by N and recovers HP every second by N% of her attack. Okay, so basically the status effect is really nice, meaning that it can't really be stopped when she activates it. And then also she restores HP and she buffs attack. And those people who, and everybody on the field who's alive who gets hit by the ult also gets the HP like increased every couple seconds, right? Which is honestly a pretty underrated ability. This would look kind of go well with what's his name, Heljo, but I'm not gonna use her with Heljo. She's gonna be over. We'll see. But I don't think she's not good with. I'm getting ahead of myself. Either way, that's pretty good. You know, increases attack, increases HP. I think it's a little bare bones for an ult. I'm assuming she's gonna have a crazy effect with this, whether she grants invincibility, whether I think her revolution is gonna be nuts, because I feel like this is kind of bare bone for a support unit. But we'll see. It also depends on how big her attack is, right, and how much she reduces defense for. And then let's look at her most important like skill, right? It active, surprisingly. I'm telling you, how good this character is like not solely based, but is very well based on reverse link, right? Xixia sends a bunny drone to the ally with the lowest HP percentage for N seconds, healing them by N of her attack every second for N seconds. Additionally, she creates a reverse link on the enemy with the highest HP percentage, redirecting N% of her attacks allies damage taken to the enemy. So, okay, so for the most part, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but you saw it in the video too. I'm assuming that most of the time the link is going to be at her because she is the support unit, and normally support doesn't really have like crazy stats, right? They're support units. So it's probably going to be her for the most part, or it's going to be an SSR unit that you add into your team if you don't have a full SSR plus team. Either way, that character and the character with the highest HP are linked, right? So like, let's say someone goes and attacks that character, the HP dealt to that is going to be dealt to the character with the highest HP on the enemy team. So, which is actually a pretty crazy mechanic. Depending on how it works, it could be really, really busted, or it could be like not busted at all, right? For example, like let's say there's a skill that one taps the support unit or the character with the lowest HP. Does it automatically gives it to the enemy team, or does it hit you with the full attack and then it gives a part of it to the enemy team, right? So like does it split it, or does it like just amplifies it? So like let's say you get, basically what I'm trying to say is, let's say you get hit by 10 damage, okay? Do you get hit by 10 damage and then they get hit by 6 damage, or do you get hit by 6 damage and they get hit by 4 damage? Is basically what I'm trying to say, right? It really depends on how it works. So, but depending on how it works, it could be really, really, really strong. And obviously the percentages matters. Also how often that skill gets put out is also really, really big. But essentially, if this skill goes to Xia, okay, she'll almost never die. She'll never die. And also considering the fact that she can resurrect herself, that combo with the link activating on her, meaning that a bunch of like she heals herself every couple seconds. Considering the fact that she can reduce defense and also has this invincibility thing, she'll be really, really hard to kill, meaning that this ultimate skill and this passive skill will happen consistently. Like theoretically, it seems really weird separate, but together I can see the vision, right? Either way, Xixia throws a magnetic grenade in the area. This is active skill magnetic grenade, by the way. In the area where the enemies are most concentrated, dealing N% of her attack as damage, paralyzing them and creating a magnetic field. The magnetic field deals N% of her attack as damage every second to the enemy in range. I don't think that the magnetic grenade is going to do a lot of damage, realistically. Like, I don't know. But she stuns, she paralyzes them, which is pretty good. I'm assuming that the exclusive weapon will make that do a bit more, you know? I feel like instinctually, I feel like they're going to give her more than just that with her exclusive weapon. But that's her kit. So now overall thoughts about this character, which is, I think, okay. she can either be like crazy broken or a really mid release, right? There's so much hanging in the balance. But realistically, I'm not gonna lie to you, for the most part, support units have been very, very good for this game. And they've been very, very strong throughout. Like every single SSR plus unit support has been a double E, has been like a really good unit. Literally every single one, right? Samaiqua, Albelda, Garam, Toa, Evan, and Xia is the next one to come out, right? So we'll have to see what will like overall like with her revolution and how her skills work. But ideally, the way that this character works is actually pretty interesting, right? So she basically doesn't die. That's the whole point of her, is for her not to die, right? For her to be there throughout the entire time and just debuff the enemy's defense, which is really strong. People are really underestimating this skill because reducing the defense makes it easier for you to kill, right? So like characters like are really annoying to fight against, like hats and tanks are gonna be killed very easily. This character is the ultimate tank destroyer because if you look at the reverse link, that's gonna be linked to the enemy tank. So like or maybe the enemy that's really annoying to deal with. So I'm talking about Ghost, I'm talking about Hats, I'm talking about Rag, I'm talking about all of these characters that are really annoying to deal with. The tanks are going to be completely trashed by this unit because this gets linked to what's her name? Xia. So the goal is so ideally this the reverse link gets linked from Xia to the tank. Okay. Every time someone hits Xia, she'll heal herself because that's part of the reverse link. But also, even if she does get hit and she almost dies, she has the backup lighthouse to resurrect her. So then, that including the fact that she heals on ult, she heals on reverse link, and she can also heal if she gets hit by a certain amount of percentage, means that she's really not gonna like die often, right? And so once she gets hit by the reverse link, and because she's linked to the tank, whenever she gets hit, the tank gets hit. That, including with the reduced defense of the enemy team, means that she, like, the goal is she's a tank shredder and she is a unit to make everybody else hit harder, right? Which is really good. And she also increases attack, right? So she's not a support that really increases survivability. She's a support that amplifies the traits of other characters instead of a unit that helps for survivability, which is an interesting route. I'm not sure. I feel like when she works, she's really good, and when she doesn't work, she's ass, right? Because let's say the deficit is really high, and then the link isn't linked to her; it's linked to someone else, meaning that like she'll come in, and then she'll die quicker for one, and then for two, she'll also she'll reduce and remove the defensive debuff that she has. Oh, whoa, it's Conowin. Wow, okay. So, because of that, I'm not really sure about what's going on with her. Also, sorry, I got distracted. Also, the problem is with her is that we really don't know what her revolution is going to be. She's, okay. Okay, based on this kit, I can tell you right now that you kind of want to rainbow her just because of how important her defensive debuff is going to be. And then also, her revolution. I feel like her revolution is going to be disgustingly broken because by the kid himself, she has survivability issues in terms of like buffing other teammates. She's really good for herself, but apart from the HP recovery and the attack increase, she's not really doing anything else for her team. So I'm assuming her revolution and her exclusive skills are going to really power her up. So, wow, I can't speak. Either way, that's her kit. We'll have to see more, obviously, to see if she's good or not. But honestly, if the reverse link is like the way that it should be, like a 6-4 instead of a 10-6, then she will be broken. Like she will actually be genuinely broken, especially considering the fact that like she'll be linked to herself, and also and she'll just destroy highest HP enemy team. Like she'll be very strong, right? And but yeah, that's the overall thoughts for this character. And yeah, I'll see you next time. She's a Bari victim, by the way.